What if I told you that the secret to true success isn't about avoiding failure, but embracing it? Every time you fail, you are one step closer to becoming the person you are destined to be. But here's the catch. Most people let failure stop them. They let it define them, control them, and hold them back. What if you could look at failure differently? What if you could turn every mistake, every setback, and every challenge into your biggest opportunity for growth? In this lesson, we'll break down how to see failure not as something to fear, but as a stepping stone on your path to success. Are you ready to change the way you view failure forever? Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Do not hate those who hate you. Hatred is like holding a burning coal and expecting the other person to feel the pain. It only harms you. When someone dislikes or mistreats you, responding with anger doesn't change them. It only disturbs your own peace. Every time you react with hatred, you give them power over your emotions. But when you choose to let go, you take that power back. Instead of allowing their negativity to consume you, practice detachment. Understand that their hate comes from their own struggles, insecurities, or misunderstandings. It has nothing to do with you. Let them carry their own burdens while you walk away, free, calm, and unaffected. The moment you release hatred from your heart, you make space for peace, clarity, and true strength. Lesson 2. The power of humility. True strength lies in humility. When you let go of your ego, you stop chasing validation and approval from others. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth or seek external praise. Instead, you begin to realize that insults, criticism, or even praise have no real power over your inner peace. A humble person remains unmoved by both admiration and hate, because they understand that others' opinions are temporary and fleeting. They recognize that their true value does not depend on the approval of others. Humility gives you the freedom to stay calm, centered, and grounded, no matter the external circumstances. When you embrace humility, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes from seeking constant approval or fearing rejection. You understand that it is not the opinions of others that define you, but your own sense of self-worth. Humility brings peace, because it allows you to remain focused on what truly matters, your inner growth and your connection with others in a meaningful way. Through humility, you tap into the quiet strength that comes from knowing who you are without needing to boast, defend, or seek validation. Lesson 3. Don't allow others to control your life. The moment you allow others to dictate your emotions, you lose control of your own life. When you let others' opinions or actions influence how you feel, you give away your personal power. People will always have opinions, and they may try to push their judgments, criticisms, or expectations onto you, but remember, their thoughts are theirs, not yours. These opinions are a reflection of their own experiences, fears, and beliefs, not a measure of your worth or truth. Stay true to yourself, and do not let anyone take away your peace of mind. It's easy to get caught up in other people's emotions or reactions, but when you do, you lose sight of your own path. If you give others the power to shape how you feel, you will constantly find yourself tossed around by external forces. But you are the only one who should control how you respond to the world around you. Don't let anyone disturb your inner calm. Whether someone praises you or criticizes you, it should not change who you are or what you stand for. Remember that you are in control of your life. No one else can determine your happiness, your success, or your peace unless you allow them to. Walk your path with confidence, knowing that the journey is yours to create. Your peace comes from within, not from the approval of others. No one can define your worth unless you let them. By staying grounded in your values and beliefs, you'll stay focused on what truly matters to you, unaffected by the noise around you. Embrace your independence, trust your decisions, and protect your emotional well-being at all costs. Lesson 4. Listen twice as much as you speak. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it's a powerful tool for those who choose to embrace it. In a world full of distractions, choosing to listen more than speak is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you listen more, you begin to understand the deeper meaning of what is being said. You hear the emotions, the thoughts, and the intentions behind the words. It's not about just hearing, it's about truly understanding. People often think speaking is the key to connection, but listening deeply allows you to truly connect with others. When you listen, you're allowing the other person the space to share what's on their mind. By doing this, you also learn things you might not have expected, things that words alone cannot convey. Silence gives you the ability to think before reacting. When emotions run high, it's easy to speak out of anger, frustration, or excitement. But if you hold back, you allow yourself the time to reflect. Instead of reacting immediately, you can respond thoughtfully, maintaining your calm even in the face of stress. This helps you avoid saying things in haste that you might regret later. Listening carefully also shows that you value what the other person is saying. People feel seen, heard, and respected when you take the time to listen. The simple act of silence, of letting someone speak freely, can strengthen relationships and build trust. It tells the other person, "I am here and I am paying attention." This creates deeper, more meaningful connections. When you speak less, you keep your inner peace intact. People who talk too much often end up revealing their vulnerabilities, things that can be used against them. By choosing silence, you protect yourself from exposing too much. Silence acts as a shield against unnecessary judgment and vulnerability. Listening is a powerful tool for self-reflection. When you quiet the noise and listen carefully, you make space for your own thoughts. You start to understand your own emotions, your reactions, and your thoughts more clearly. In that silence, you find clarity, not just about others, but about yourself. Patience is key in this process. In today's fast-paced world, it's tempting to rush through conversations, to always have the next thing to say. But when you allow yourself to pause and listen, you show patience, not just toward others, but toward yourself as well. This pause creates a deeper connection, because it shows that you're not just waiting for your turn to talk, you're fully present in the conversation. People often have a lot to teach us, but we can only learn if we listen. The wisdom that others share can shape our thoughts, improve our actions, and guide us toward better choices. Listening is the path to greater knowledge. It's in the moments of silence where you often discover the most important truths. Silence allows you to stay grounded. In conversations, let the words settle into your mind before responding. Let the moment breathe and guide you, and you will find yourself responding with greater clarity, wisdom, and compassion. Listening more than speaking is about more than just communication. It's about growth. Growth as a person, growth in your relationships, and growth in your ability to understand the world around you. The next time you find yourself in a conversation, don't rush to speak. Pause, listen, and reflect. In the stillness of silence, you'll find the answers you're looking for. Lesson 5. Accept the worst. Much of our suffering comes from resisting reality. We often avoid facing the things that scare us the most, failure, loss, and criticism, because we believe that if we don't face them, we can avoid the pain they bring. However, the truth is that the more we try to resist these inevitable parts of life, the more they control us. We spend so much energy trying to escape them, but in the process, we actually give them more power. They become our focus, feeding our fears and anxieties. This is why so many of us are consumed by worry and stress about things that may never even happen. When you accept the worst, it loses its hold over you. The power that failure, loss, or criticism have over you comes from your resistance to them. The moment you accept that they are part of life, they stop being sources of fear. When you fully accept that you could fail, or that loss could come your way, you stop fearing those outcomes. Instead of seeing them as catastrophic, you begin to see them as just another part of the journey. Failure becomes an opportunity to learn and grow, not something to avoid at all costs. Loss becomes less painful because you recognize that everything is temporary and that nothing lasts forever, no matter how much we wish it would. Even criticism becomes easier to handle because you understand that other people's opinions don't define your worth. People's words are about them, not you. The more you resist, the more you feed your anxiety. But when you stop fighting reality, you begin to free yourself from this never-ending cycle of worry. You realize that no matter how hard something is, you can handle it. You become less dependent on the outcome of any situation for your happiness. This acceptance brings freedom, freedom to move forward without the heavy burden of fear holding you back. You'll stop making decisions based on what might go wrong, and instead, you'll make them based on what will move you closer to your goals. When you accept the worst, you learn to embrace whatever life brings, knowing that you can handle it. This isn't about becoming passive or indifferent to life's challenges. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop striving for the best. It means you stop fighting against the inevitable and find peace in the present moment, even when things don't go as planned. You can still set your goals, work hard, and try your best, but without the need for control over every outcome. The unknown becomes less intimidating when you're not so attached to a specific result. Acceptance is a form of strength. The ability to face life's difficulties without becoming overwhelmed by them is the hallmark of someone who has inner peace. Many people think that avoiding challenges or pretending they don't exist is the key to happiness, but in reality, it's this constant avoidance that creates more stress. The more you resist life's challenges, the more you lose control over your peace of mind. When you accept whatever comes, you stop being controlled by your fears and reactions. You're able to respond with composure and grace in any situation. The key to finding peace is not avoiding discomfort. It's learning to face it with courage and clarity. Life will bring struggles, setbacks, and difficulties. That's a given. But when you accept that these things are a part of life, they no longer hold the same power over you. You stop living in fear of them and start living fully in the present moment, ready to face whatever comes next. Think about the strength it takes to accept the worst possible outcome. It's easy to go through life hoping for the best, but when you can accept the worst with the same level of peace, you no longer feel like a victim of circumstance. You become empowered by the knowledge that you can handle whatever comes your way. This acceptance takes away the fear of failure, loss, or criticism. It makes these things no longer feel like threats, but just part of the natural ebb and flow of life. Acceptance isn't about resignation. It's about releasing the need to control everything. It's about having the courage to let go of your attachment to specific outcomes. When you no longer fear the worst, you're free to take risks, try new things, and live fully. This freedom comes from realizing that no outcome can define you. You are not your failures, your losses, or the judgments of others. You are much more than that. Acceptance leads to unshakable peace. When you accept that life will throw challenges your way, you stop fighting against the tide. Instead of trying to swim upstream, you start going with the flow, trusting that wherever life takes you, you have the strength to handle it. Your mind becomes clearer, your heart becomes lighter, and your spirit becomes stronger. Accepting the worst is about freeing yourself from the fear that holds you back. It's about choosing to live with courage and resilience, knowing that no matter what happens, you will be okay. When you stop resisting the reality of difficult situations, you unlock a sense of peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. The more you embrace life's challenges, the more unstoppable you become. Lesson 6. Be aware of the dangers of fortune. Success, wealth, and fame often seem like the ultimate goals. We are taught from a young age that if we can achieve these things, we will finally be happy. They are seen as signs of success, markers that show the world that we have made it. But in reality, these external achievements can easily become distractions. When we tie our happiness to things that are outside of ourselves, we put our inner peace at risk. Wealth, while it may provide comfort, can also lead to a false sense of security. Success, while it brings recognition, can sometimes make us feel like we are constantly being judged by others. Fame, while it brings attention, can make us feel alone in a sea of people who don't truly understand us. The more we attach our happiness to these external things, the more vulnerable we become. The truth is, all these things, no matter how desirable they may seem, are temporary. Wealth can be lost, success can fade, and fame can disappear overnight. When you tie your self-worth and happiness to these things, you are setting yourself up for inevitable disappointment. No matter how much we strive for external success, it is never truly within our control. External circumstances are always shifting, and if we depend on them for our sense of peace, we will always be at the mercy of their fluctuations. True freedom comes from detachment, learning to release the hold that material things have on us. When you can appreciate the things that come into your life without letting them control you, you gain the power to stay peaceful no matter what happens. Detachment doesn't mean disregarding success or wealth. It simply means not allowing them to define your sense of self. It means recognizing that you are more than the sum of your achievements. You are not what you own, what you do, or how others perceive you. You are who you are, and that is enough. When you can detach from the need for material possessions and external validation, you create a space for peace to thrive. You no longer depend on things that are fleeting for your happiness. Instead, you learn to find contentment within yourself. This does not mean that you stop pursuing your goals or striving for success. It means that you pursue these things with the knowledge that they are not the key to your happiness. Your inner peace comes from within, not from anything outside of you. It's important to recognize the dangers of becoming too attached to success, wealth, or fame. When you become attached, you begin to live in fear. Fear of losing what you've gained, fear of not living up to expectations, and fear of never achieving enough. This fear can become a constant source of anxiety and stress. You may find yourself constantly striving, never feeling satisfied, always comparing yourself to others. This type of thinking can steal your peace and rob you of the joy of living in the present moment. True freedom comes when you stop seeking validation from external sources. You no longer need to prove your worth to anyone because you know that your worth is intrinsic. You can embrace success and failure with equal grace because neither defines who you are. When you detach from the need for external approval, you stop living in a state of constant uncertainty. You stop worrying about what others think of you and start living with self-assurance. The path to true happiness lies in understanding that external circumstances will always change. Success may come and go, wealth may ebb and flow, and fame may flicker out. But if you remain centered in your own values, and if you can find peace in the face of change, nothing outside of you will be able to disturb your peace. You can live with the knowledge that your happiness does not depend on what you own or what others think of you. By embracing detachment, you create space for true peace and freedom. You stop relying on external things to define your happiness and instead find it within yourself. This is the key to unshakable peace, knowing that no matter what happens in your life, you have the ability to remain calm and at ease. When you can find peace within yourself, you become truly free. Be aware of the dangers of fortune. Don't let your happiness be controlled by things that are outside of your control. Embrace success, wealth, and fame for what they are. Moments of life, not the definition of your happiness. True freedom comes when you learn to let go of your attachment to them and find peace within your own heart. Lesson 7. See failure as a stepping stone, not something to fear. Failure is not the opposite of success. In fact, it is an essential part of the journey towards success. Many people fear failure because they see it as a negative experience, something to be avoided at all costs. The fear of failure can cause anxiety, hesitation, and even paralysis in decision-making. People often think that failing means they are not good enough, that they lack the ability to succeed. However, this belief is far from the truth. Failure is not something to be feared, it is something to embrace, as it is a pathway to wisdom. When we experience failure, it doesn't mean we have failed as individuals. It simply means we are learning, growing, and gaining valuable experience. Every time we fail, we gather information and insights that help us improve and evolve. Failure is a strengthening force. It teaches us about our weaknesses, our limitations, and even our strengths. The key is to see failure as a stepping stone, a critical part of the process that brings us closer to our goals. The reason many fear failure is because they misunderstand its role in life. They think failure is a sign of weakness or a reflection of their capabilities. But the truth is that success is built on the foundation of failure. Every successful person you admire, whether in business, sports, or personal development, has experienced failure. What makes them successful is not that they never failed, but that they learned from their failures, used them as stepping stones, and kept moving forward. When you fail, you are taking a risk, which is necessary for growth. Taking risks means you are pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, trying new things, and putting yourself in situations where you can learn. This is the kind of growth that leads to true success. Without failure, there is no real growth. Failure challenges us to adapt, to think differently, and to approach problems with more creativity and resourcefulness. Without failure, we would never develop the resilience needed to succeed. Failure is inevitable. No one can avoid it. But when you stop fearing failure, you free yourself from the limiting beliefs that hold you back. The more you fear failure, the more you stay stuck in your comfort zone, never venturing beyond the familiar. This prevents you from unlocking your true potential. But when you let go of the fear of failure, you open yourself up to limitless possibilities. Fear is the true obstacle, not failure itself. The fear of failing is what prevents people from trying new things, taking risks, and stepping outside their comfort zones. But once you realize that failure is a necessary part of growth, it no longer has power over you. Success doesn't come to those who avoid failure. It comes to those who are willing to fail, to get back up, and to keep moving forward. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than they can count. They are not defined by their failures. They are defined by their ability to persist through them. The key to success lies not in avoiding failure, but in learning to overcome it and use it as fuel to propel you forward. The most important lesson is to embrace failure as a teacher. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, view it as an opportunity to learn. Failure is a lesson, one that shows you what doesn't work and teaches you how to improve. When you fail, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What lesson can I take away from this experience that will make me better next time? Every failure, big or small, has something to teach you. When you embrace this mindset, failure becomes a powerful tool for personal development. Failure builds character, resilience, and determination. It helps you become stronger and more adaptable. When you fail, you develop the ability to persist through adversity. You learn not to give up at the first sign of trouble. Instead, you keep trying, refining your approach, and finding new solutions. This is how you grow and move closer to your goals. People who avoid failure often avoid growth because they are unwilling to face the challenges that come with it. Embracing failure is the only way to become the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. When you stop fearing failure, you gain confidence. You are no longer held back by the fear of making mistakes. This confidence comes from knowing that failure is just a part of the journey, not something to be feared. When you see failure as a stepping stone, it stops being something that holds you back. Instead, it becomes something that propels you forward. Fear of failure is often rooted in our desire for perfection. We fear that failing means we are not good enough, that we are not capable. But perfection doesn't exist, and no one is immune to failure. What truly matters is how you respond to failure, whether you let it defeat you or use it to fuel your next attempt. If you are afraid to fail, you will never take the necessary risks that lead to success. Take action, despite the fear. The more you fail, the less afraid you will become. Each failure will make you stronger, more resilient, and more willing to take on the next challenge. The key is to never give up. As long as you keep moving forward, every failure is a step closer to your goals. Failure is not a defeat, it is an opportunity for growth. Learn from it, embrace it, and use it as a tool for your personal development. When you stop fearing failure, you stop limiting yourself. You realize that nothing can hold you back because you have the courage to face whatever comes your way. So, the next time you fail, don't be discouraged. See it as a stepping stone to success. Failure is just a part of the journey, and it is one that everyone must go through to reach their true potential. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to become the person you are meant to be. Now that you see failure as a stepping stone, remember, success isn't a straight line. It's a journey filled with lessons and growth. Embrace the challenges, learn from every experience, and keep moving forward with confidence. If you found this lesson valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Buddhism Pathways for more insights that will help you grow, transform, and walk the path to inner peace. Until next time, stay humble, stay strong, and keep embracing your journey.